Hey,
So what's your Republic Day plan, except for blockchain workshop?
No plans. Like we have classes even today from 11 to 4 or something.
oh shit, you have there's some classes today
Yeah,
also.
because the teachers who are handling for us are PhD students. So last week we didn't have classes, and for compensation they are taking it today. So can't help.
EC
Shit.
is having classes.
Exactly. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
the template, you need to unzip it. The first three, you need to install them. So if you have downloaded everything, please drop a yes in chat box so that we know that we can start or we need to wait.
Anna, can you send the link again? I joined now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Harsha is done installing. Next.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
like I just have one doubt.
Okay.
Node.js is not like running on my PowerShell CMD, but
Yeah. It because you can't run scripts on it, so you did do it on your regular command prompt.
okay.
We'll start at 10:15.
Yeah, bro, got it installed on Linux, then I shown.
Okay. Cool. So you have Ganesh as an application in Linux.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyone still having any difficulty installing anything?
I don't installing now.
What?
These files are not opening.
Are you on Windows system?
No, I'm in phone. 1 minute, wait.
Huh?
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay.
I should go to Node.js and download it.
Did you download it?
No, I download. I was just asking.
Okay. Once it gets downloaded, double click, go through the installation process, and do the same for VS Code and Ganesh.
Okay.
What's Ganesh?
We'll tell you. Did you download it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So if everyone has downloaded, we can start. If you want us to wait for a few more minutes, then tell us.
5 minutes, 5 minutes.
నేను అక్కడ ముయ్యలేదు, నేను నిమిషం తిప్పి కూర్చో. నేను అక్కడ పైగా ముయ్యలేదు, నేను తిప్పిపోయాను.
Srinidhi, I think you can start with your explanation.
Just a second, Shubham. Can you just see once WhatsApp?
I'm done installing all the three successfully. Yay.
You guys, everyone else also had any problems, or everyone are okay with installations for now?
So the template which you downloaded, the fourth thing, unzip it and keep it ready. Yeah, just keep clicking next.
Do we need any extensions for VS Code?
No. You right click and click on extract all.
Hi guys, we'll be starting now. So before I start this session, I wanted to show you guys a video. It's about internet. The video is about internet, but the video was recorded in 1990s. I wanted you guys to see how people were in 1990s struggling to understand what internet was. Abhijit, can you screen share the video, please? Abhijit?
Mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it.
Around
I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard around big fight up in the lunchroom the other
See,
week.
there it is. Violence at NBC, GE.com. I mean,
Well, Allison should know. What do you
is
say to that,
internet
Allison?
anyway?
Internet is that
Massive computer
right,
network.
No audio
the
to
one
skip
that's
this.
becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
No audio.
Oh, Allison will be in
Okay,
the
it's,
studio
I think,
shortly.
What does it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up.
It's okay. Thank you, Abhijit.
It started from.
Oh, I thought
I'll
you were going
just
to tell us what
explain the
this
summary
was.
of it.
Look at the
I'll
picture.
share the video
It's
link
not
also. Just a
It's
second.
computer billboard, but it's
Right.
nationwide, and it's several universities and everything all joined together.
Right.
And others can access it.
Right.
Shubham, can you share the video link in the
It came in really
description?
handy during the quake. A
Yeah.
lot of people, that's how they were
Yeah.
communicating.
You guys
out
can
to
see the
tell family and
videos.
loved ones they were okay because all the phone lines were down.
I was telling
So
Katie.
until
But you
then,
don't need
maybe
that.
can
You don't
you
need a
tell them
phone line
NPM
to
install?
operate.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll be telling one thing that's an important thing. It's gonna take some time. So before we start, you guys can get into it.
So we want all of you to follow along, or else there's no point in doing this.
Yeah, please. So open the blockchain template which everyone downloaded and unzip it. I want you guys to unzip it and then probably open the command prompt. This. We type CMD here. You will have a command prompt here. Yeah. So when you guys have the command prompt, type npm install here. And it's going to install a bunch of directories and also installations, and which we'll be using in the future. For me, it's already downloaded. I think you guys can install it. You will be getting a lot of modules getting installed. So before we start, I wanted you guys to try this. So then
Sure, we are in the same directory, or else
Yeah.
it won't get installed.
I want you guys to go to this directory where you have installed the template which we sent you, unzip it. Then after unzipping, go to this directory in the command prompt. That is that I downloaded. So it was in my downloads. And then I typed npm install. So I want you guys to do that.
Srinidhi, can you
Yeah.
go to that folder?
Just a second.
Click on the address on the top, the blockchain template.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, and type CMD. So
Yeah,
this
you
will
guys-
directly take you to that path.
Yeah.
Enter.
Type your CMD again, it goes
CMD
directly
and
to the path.
So it opens the command prompt in that path, and all you have to do is npm install.
Okay.
Then just minimize it and come back over here. Srinidhi will explain you what
Yeah,
is.
now you can minimize it. So it will be keep on, installing the directories, and I think we can come back here. So I'll start with the presentation that will be happening in the background. You guys don't need to do anything. Any doubts regarding that issue, we'll solve it after this presentation. So you don't have to worry about that. You have any errors, you have any installation problems, we'll come back to that after this presentation. So make sure you guys concentrate on this presentation first. I'll be starting. So yeah, did you guys, how many of you saw the video which I sent? Okay, if you guys haven't seen it, okay, I will be explaining what it was about, Anta. So can you guys, is my screen visible, Shivam?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
What others?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think okay, people who have seen the video, it's okay, you can stop seeing now. I'll explain what the video was about. So as I told you, I wanted to begin this session with the videos due to some technical issues we couldn't. So the video was about internet. It was how internet was in the 1990s. So people, you can see that clearly in that video, people were struggling to understand what internet is. They didn't know what @ symbol was. They're like, what is internet anyways? And they're like struggling to understand it. It's so funny for us, right? You can easily, if you imagine now, when I ask you what is internet, you can easily explain what is an internet, right? But for the same people, in the 1990s, internet was a new thing. They didn't understand. They were struggling so hard to explain what is internet. The same thing can be seen here also now. But instead of internet, people are struggling to understand what is blockchain, right? Even though it's very simple, it will sound very complex for you guys when I try to explain it. So I wanted to show that video that the same thing is happening again. So before we start with blockchain, I want you guys to understand three basic things about blockchain itself. Okay. Before we move into what actually blockchain is, I want you guys to understand three things. First thing is that it is early, like how internet was in 90s, right? Internet was very early in the 90s. People were not understanding what it is. So the blockchain is early in this decade. So people are struggling to understand what is blockchain. The second point is it's not an use case of internet. It's not any application of internet like your email, e-commerce websites such as Amazon, Flipkart, or any website such as Google. These are the applications or the use cases of internet. But blockchain is not an use case of some other framework. It is fundamentally and parallelly what internet itself. Like how internet is one platform for its own kind, blockchain is also one kind of fundamental thing like internet. It's not use case. Then it has a potential to change our life. Blockchain has a potential to change our life, like how internet changed our life, right? Internet changed our life drastically. You can see, right? You are living in a 21st century. Even though your internet like is so good, internet change your life. You can just wake up morning and order on Amazon. In afternoon, you can see a Netflix show. So internet changed your life so drastically. The same way, blockchain also has a potential to change our life. Now let's get into the real blockchain, what actually the blockchain is. So the easiest way for you to think blockchain is nothing but a huge book, a ledger, by the way. So what do you mean by ledger? Ledger, and it's like your passbook, bank passbook also. You can think it as like that also. See, each entry in a ledger will be some transaction, right? Some transaction from this account to that account, or from somewhere around one entry. So think of blockchain as a huge book or a ledger where you have each transactions are some entries in the blockchain. So this is the easiest way to think. Well, I'll give you an example. Okay, think person A in Bangalore wants to send some money to person B in New York. Okay. For example, you are in Bangalore, you want to send some 1,000 rupees to your cousin who is in New York. So how will you send? It is not the money that flies, right? You don't pack some 1,000 rupees note in one chit and then you fly to New York in airways. That's not exactly how money transfer happens. What actually happens is that it's just entries in a ledger. From your bank account, 1,000 rupees will be deducted, and in your cousin's bank account who is in New York, 1,000 rupees will be added. The real literal money doesn't flow like that. You just entries, right? So between these two bank account entries, there's a lot of ledgers to maintain. For example, as I told, between your and your cousin's account, there is his bank account, your bank account entries, and there are wire transfer services such as FED, and there is insurance company also. They all maintain these ledgers between your friends, your account and your cousin's account. So when you want to transfer some money between your account to your cousin's account who is in New York, all these kind of ledgers has to be maintained. So maintaining all these ledgers causes friction, time consuming work and cost, because there's not one ledger you're changing to send some money. You're changing a lot of ledgers in between. So to change all these ledgers, it's going to take some time and some cost also. So have you ever noticed that when you try to send 1,000 rupees, only 920 rupees will be gone to that, and the rest 80 rupees will be deducted as tax or something like service charges. Even while booking a show in Book My Show, you can see that internet handling service charge they'll tell, and they'll book you for some 200. If you book a ticket for around 1,000 rupees, some around 100 rupees will be charged for that. All those amount is for the service charges to maintain all these ledgers in between. And it also takes some 5 to 6 days from here to say send from Bangalore to New York some money. So this and all are the usual problem we face. So, and the main important backdrop is that anybody can manipulate any ledger in between. When you wanted to send 1,000 rupees your money, even though anybody can change that between, right? Someone can come, some hacker can come, and then he'll just change one ledger entry. Even though it's your money, you don't have control only when you send there. Then suddenly the people will come and they'll like, okay, this bank account number is wrong, add my bank account number, and the money will be transferred there. So you can see, right, anybody can transfer. Even though that is your money, you lose control when it reaches to these all ledgers. You don't have control over these ledgers. So this access is not there for you. Now, all these can be resolved using blockchain. How? Now imagine instead of there are so many ledgers to maintain, what if there's only one ledger, one universal ledger? one universal book, one universal passbook, where you can enter every other companies, every other every other things such as your bank, your cousin's bank, the insurance company, the wire transfer, the service has charges handlers. All these guys are the participants of this huge book. For example, I can say like if I have to be more specific, these guys will be treated as nodes, and they're all participating in this huge book. For example, now there's be only one entry now, because since it is one book, one entry happens and all of them verify that. For example, see, now if I say I have to send some money to my cousin in New York, I'll say like person A sends money to person B in New York. One entry will happen. Then all of them verify. For example, person A's bank account verifies, yes, this happened. Person B's bank account verifies, yes, this happened. Then the service handlers will say, okay, this happened. So they all authenticated. They just verified. One entry, all of them verify. So it reduces a lot of friction and lot of the cost that was happening to maintain all these ledgers. Then there comes this is how basically the blockchain works. So you have one entry, one book, where every other participating entities will be there. They just verify it. Like any transaction, any entry happens, they just verify it. They say like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. Instead of having their own ledgers and they have to keep having entries in that ledger also. Did you guys get it? So there comes some perks around using this blockchain. For example, the three most fundamental perks are: this is protected by the best cryptographic algorithm, which is very difficult to ask. If you want to ask what is cryptography, I am sure like half of you might understand what is cryptography, they don't understand. So I'll give you a very vague example. So what is cryptography? So see here if you have a cryptography, it's like I'll give an example such as you have some friend, okay, you have some friend or girlfriend, and you want to write some letter, some confidential letter that your girlfriend's father should not know, okay. So you want to encrypt it. That is, only you and your girlfriend should understand what is the content of that letter. No one else should understand. So what you do, you use some keywords, you use only some words that only you and your girlfriend can understand and no one else can understand. So that what we do is in computer science, that's the same thing which we do is cryptography. We encrypt something, and then that will be some bunch of rubbish words. If a other person sees this, he'll think that is some kind of rubbish and he can't understand. For example, here, hello world, after encrypting, I'll get some rubbish. I can't read this. But only the person who is sending and receiving can understand what is the real content of it. Okay. So this is what cryptography is. So we used a best cryptography so that every entry is made only but can be understood by these nodes or these participating entities such as your bank, all those things, and no one else can see it. So it's very difficult to hack. Then every block added as in every transaction added is linked to its previous block. That is, every transaction you make, a new transaction happens, that is linked to its previous transaction, and which is immutable. As in, since I can show you like this link is there, no? So when you add a new transaction, this transaction will be linked to its previous transaction immutably. That is, you can't break the chain. So what actually happens is, so for example, let's say an hacker comes, he wants to change the transaction. Let's say he wants to change the bank account number. He'll be like, you are sending this to your friend in New York. He'll add, instead of your friend's bank account, he can add his bank account number. So your money will be directly transferred to his. So this won't happen, because if you want to change a transaction, you have to change all the previous transaction that was already in that ledger. Okay, all those blocks has to be changed, but it is immutably linked. So it's impossible to change. If you want to change one transaction, you have to change all the n number of transactions becomes before that, a lot of transactions, right? Which is not feasible, which is impossible for any hacker. So it's super secure. Then blockchain also comes with this thing called smart contracts, which is a logic built in for the transaction that happened. For example, you need some logic to happen for all these transactions, right? For example, if you are using a wire transfer, that has their own logic, such as you have to take account number, and then that for this account number only the money will be transferred. This is a logic that happens behind. If you want to go for supply chain management, such as you want to track from who farmer is sending to some wholesaler that what and all, when he gets his money back. All these are the logic that happens. Okay, we'll understand smart contracts more in the future slides. So this smart blockchain also have this thing called smart contracts, which is the logic behind the entire thing. We'll explain to you in the future. And the most important thing is that no one owns the chain. This chain, whichever we showed you right now, the blockchain, where each block is linked to each other, this chain is owned by no one. No central authority such as your bank or your friend's bank or big companies like Google, Facebook, or Metaverse or something. They don't own this chain. Okay, it is the participants of this network, such as you, yourself, and your friend. All these guys are the ones who own the chain, right? No one owns the chain. This is it's entirely the people who are participating in this transaction. They are the one who owns the chain. So it's a bunch of people who owns the chain, as I told you. But to maintain the chain, you need resources, you need computing power, you need electricity, you need to require time and money, right? You will not be like sitting freely, giving up your electricity, giving up your computing power to maintain someone else's chain, right? Someone made a transaction and you have to maintain in your computer. There's nothing to you, right? What will you lose? You lose your money, you lose your time, you lose your electricity. What will you get in this? So when in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto introduced Bitcoin blockchain, he did a very good thing. He did an intelligent thing. What did he do? He introduced a currency along with it. That is, since it was a Bitcoin blockchain, he introduced a currency called Bitcoin. Okay. So what is this Bitcoin? So why was this currency created? So he created this currency for the people who were maintaining the chain. Okay. So since they were giving up their electricity, they were giving up their time and money, they were giving the computing power. So to get back what he gave Bitcoin as an incentive or as some kind of like a reward. So what did he do? He gave this as a reward for people who were maintaining the chain. So so technically these were known as miners. What were they mining? They were mining Bitcoins. Okay. So more simplifiedly, if I want to say, if you maintain a blockchain, so you get a reward or you get an incentive to maintaining the blockchain, known as currency, cryptocurrency. And in this case, it was Bitcoin. He was giving a Bitcoin as an incentive for people who were maintaining the chain, and these people were known as miners. And the process of maintaining the chain is known as mining. This is the most fundamental concept. Okay. So I hope you understand this concept. Next, we'll be moving on to what is smart contracts. As I told you, because we were handling all those things, let's see what is smart contracts anyways. As I told you, it's a logic behind the transaction that happens. It's a program. It's a simple program which you will learn to write smart contracts by the end of this seminar or workshop. You understand how to create a smart contracts. It's a program that handles the logic of all the transaction, and it is stored inside the blockchain itself. It is stored inside the blockchain. I'll give you a very vague example again. For example, is freshers party crowdfunding. I've seen most of first years are here and second years, third years are here. So second year, third years already have an idea of how freshers party is conducted, right? So first years, I think this will be new to you, but you will understand the concept so that next year at least you can use this concept when you're giving freshers party or juniors. I'll explain. So usually freshers party, how does it happen? All of you put all of the participants, all of the students in one branch, they put some money, right? Like each of the people will put like 500 rupees, 500 rupees, say, let's say 500 rupees everyone will put, and you'll collect some total amount, and there will be one person. Let's say it's usually the case of CRs, right? CRs, what do? They collect the money, and then they go to the party hall, and then they go to decide the theme and all. They decide with the money they collected, right? All those money, for let's say if there is like some 10 people, 500 they put, so you have 5,000 rupees. So the total budget is 5,000 rupees. So CR take this money, he will go to the party hall, he'll decide how much to spend there, how much to spend here and all. So what actually happens sometimes, what if you don't trust your CR? If let's say the party hall guy comes and tells that the venue for the entire thing is 15,000 rupees. Party hall, to host a party host karne ke liye, you need 15,000 rupees, right? But the CR will come and tell you 20,000 rupees is the party hall. So 5,000 rupees, it will go to CR only, right? You don't have any other way to trust it, right? So what will happen is that this trust issue is not there. So instead of that, we can remove the CR here. We can remove the, I mean, if you remove the third party here, that is a CR, you can use smart contracts here. How will you use smart contracts? Let's say like this. So you have each person in the left side are students, right side is the party people, the party member hosting, the party hall hoster. Okay. So smart contracts is the place where CR comes. So we use smart contracts. Everyone will have 500 rupees. What will happen is that smart contract will take that money and it will store, hold it until a certain goal is reached. What goal? The goal will be set. For example, here it was 15,000. Party hall guy says, for the party hall for this evening, you need 15,000 to pay for us. So smart contract will hold the money until 15,000 is reached. For example, everyone will give 500 until 15,000 is reached. Smart contract will have the money. It will have the money. Then as soon as smart contract, as soon as 15,000 is reached, it gives back directly to the party hall guy. It will be like 15,000 each, you take it. Now, what if the 15,000 does not reach? For example, let's say only 10 people are there and everyone put 500 rupees and only like 10, what do you get? 5,000 rupees. So only total is 5,000, 15,000 did not reach. Okay. So what happens is that it states it as failed and it will send back to the guys back. It will be like you'll get your money refunded. So these are the things you see, right? Smart contract, it holded you money until 15,000 is reached, until a goal was reached, it gave it back to them. If the goal wasn't reached, you'll get your money refunded. So this is how. But you might ask, why should I trust smart contract, right? It's just a program. If I don't want to trust my CR, why should I trust the smart contract? So as I told you, smart contract is stored in blockchain. It comes with the two most powerful features of blockchain. That is immutability and distributed. So as I told you, immutable, what do you mean by immutable? Once a smart contract is written, once the program is written, you can't change it. Once it has been deployed to the blockchain, you can't change it, right? If you want to change it, the entire thing will change. So once the program is written, no one can come back to you and change it and tell like, okay, the money is deducted. So no one can change a smart contract once it is written. So that is the one of the powerful features. Second is distributed. So what do you mean by distributed? See, everyone are participating, right? Here you see that everyone are participating. So when all this left side people, they own the chain. So when someone else, some third party guy will come, let's say CR comes, he'll be like, okay, 15,000, even the 15,000 was not reached, he'll tell like 15,000 is reached, give the money, I'll give it to them. But what will happen? You already know, everyone it's distributed. You trust everyone here. So everyone will get to know, no, this is not 15,000. Everyone can see it's only like 5,000 rupees has been reached. So what will you say? Okay, no, it's not done yet. You can't take the money now yet. So people will be like, okay, so he can easily understand it, right? You can't easily fool anyone in smart contracts, or that is in blockchain. So it's distributed. You have the distributed network here. So this is the most powerful feature of smart contracts. So you learn how to make the smart contracts, how to create a blockchain in this workshop at the end. So these are the introduction. So as I told you, blockchain provides you with consent, security, and trust. I'll explain I'll give you one more small example of this entire thing. So think it as a party. You guys are having a party, right? So what do? You play cards and you give like everyone will exchange money. Okay. If you'll have a lucky draw, at least you think like a lucky draw. You're having 5 guys are having a party. Everyone will have 500 rupees and they'll have a lucky draw. Like they'll have a lucky draw, like someone else will lucky draw. So you'll get all the 2,500 rupees will go to that. Then again, everyone will put 500 rupees and then someone else will get a lucky draw. Lucky draw, everyone understand lucky draw, right? You pick a name and whoever names is that, everyone will get whatever the money was collected, they'll get that money. That is lucky draw. So everyone, you put 500 rupees, lucky draw happens, then that guy will get other 2,500 rupees. So here you see, there's no super guy here, right? What happens is that if you feel that you have been frauded, and for example, if you feel that you have been cheated, even though your name was on the lucky draw, people didn't give you money. If you feel like that, you can't complain it to someone else above you, right? You're having a party there. You guys are 5 guys there. There's no one manager there. You can go and tell like, okay, I felt that I feel cheated. But what is there here? You're trusting the other 5 guys here. If you feel that someone else wants to cheat to you, you are sure that he wants to cheat the other 5 also first, because if someone else doesn't want to give you money in that party, everyone should be against you, right? Everyone should again be like, okay, let's not give him money. If everyone decides only, you will not get money. So here you are seeing that the idea of centralized authority is being changed to distributed authority. You're trusting everyone now here. If everyone is in the game only, you'll get money. If everyone feels that they're cheating to you only, they can cheat you. So the idea of central authority, like the manager or someone else above you, is changed to distributed authority here. Everyone, you have to trust everyone here. That is nothing but consents. And I told you security because I told you it's best supported by the best cryptographic algorithm, and it's immutable, it's super secure. And then the trust, again, obviously trust has to be there, as we told you that smart contracts and all, everything is involved. You have trust. So I know how you guys are feeling like this. Okay, I understand how you guys are feeling. I am pretty sure you guys are feeling like this. Because see, I know you guys are feeling like anxiety. Say blockchain one more time. Fuck. Okay, so it's very easy concept. You guys will understand by the end of this session. Also, you guys will be like blockchain masters, I can say, because you'll be able to write a blockchain and create a blockchain and deploy a blockchain. So I tried my best to explain it to you guys, like not looking like the right side, but looking like the left side at least. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll ask Srishti to take over and explain what is the next concept, such as Ethereum and Solidity. Thank you.
That was quite an introduction, and I hope that you guys are all excited. So show some excitement in the chat box, guys. Are you excited to learn blockchain? Okay. Sure, guys. It's happy to see the chat box beaming with enthusiasm. So let's move on to the next session of our blockchain. So that's going to be an introduction to Ethereum and Solidity. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so yeah, before we start off with Solidity, let me just give you an overview about what Ethereum is. Okay. So you guys all know about Bitcoin, and you know that it's kind of a decentralized cryptocurrency. And I'm pretty sure you got quite an idea of what a blockchain application is by Srini. Okay. So to make this blockchain actually possible, you require a lot of computational power. That is, you require a lot of computers that are interconnected to each other to actually make this possible. So doing this is kind of a Herculean task. So Ethereum makes it easy by making this available to you, and so you can create your blockchain applications by using Ethereum as your platform. Okay, so Ethereum is nothing but a platform, a blockchain wherein you can sit and design your applications as well. Okay, so just like you have, rupees denomination in while carrying out transactions here, the unit that is used here is called ether. Okay, so now you know that 100 paise is equal to 1 rupee. So similarly, there are smaller units of ether that are also present while carrying out transactions in Ethereum. So and that one of the units is called wave. Okay, so 1 ether is equal to 10 to the power of 18 wave. Okay, so there are many other units, and you can Google up some. Okay, so basically now you've heard a lot about what smart contracts are, what they intend to do. So basically you'll be like, how are you going to write a smart contract? How are you going to write your business logic into a smart contract? So yes, that is carried out by Solidity. So Solidity is a language by which you're going to code your smart contracts. Okay, so if you guys have basic knowledge about any programming language, this is going to be a cakewalk. Otherwise, we'll go through it. All right. So let's start with what type of variables that are present in your Solidity programming language. Okay, so let's start with I'll explain the address part of it, and the next part I'll explain with another slide. Okay, so now address. So let's say I'm person A, and I have to send or transfer some funds to an other person B. Okay, So there should be some way by which we can uniquely identify that person B, so that we can make sure that it's going to the right place. So how are we going to uniquely identify that person? It's by using an address. Okay. So every account is given something known as a public key. So which is prior is given a public key, and the last 20 bits is unique to every every account. So that's exactly what address does. Okay, so the remaining types I'll be explaining through this program. Okay, so every Solidity program, begins with a pragma line. Okay, so all the code that you write should be compiled somewhere and executed, right? So that's exactly what happens in the first line. So it starts with your pragma Solidity, and then this refers to your compiler version. Okay, so with which you're going to compile your smart contract. Okay, then next it's going to be followed by using a contract keyword. Okay, followed by the name of the contract. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you different types of ways of declaring the different type of variables that are present in Solidity. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys know what strings are. So strings are nothing but a collection of characters. Alright, so how are you going to declare a string in using Solidity? So that's first you're going to use the keyword string followed by the access specifier. So access modifier. So what this exactly does is it tells you the scope of the entire variable. So this is within. This can be accessed within the contract. This can be accessed outside the contract as well. So whereas if it was private, then in that case it could have been accessed only within the contract, and it couldn't have been accessed anywhere else. So that's exactly what this public word does here. Okay, so this can be anything really. So this is basically called the variable name. Okay, so this is going to be assigned to another string. Okay, so next we are going to move on to another type. Okay, so now that we are designing a betting system, so there's like, I'm an RCB supporter, so I always hope that they always invest in RCB, and I hope they win always. So there are actually 3 states that are actually present for RCB, so they can either win, or they're still playing, or they've already lost the match, which is the case. So basically, so what happens here? We are going to assign a number to the. We are going to assign a name to this given integer. Okay, so basically here this is going to be 0, this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2. So whenever 0 is assigned the name of win, 1 is assigned the name of playing, and 2 is assigned the name of lose. Or you can assign any integer constants manually, but that's how the default way works out. Okay, so the next type is going to be a Boolean value. So Boolean is either true or false. So basically, since initially it's going to be declared as false, so next comes the amount of money you put into staking for that particular team. So that's going to be declared by using the uint, and then again the same access modifier, and then the variable name followed by the amount of way that you are going to invest into that bet. So that's how you declare an integer in Solidity. Okay, so that's one part. So next we move on to struct and mapping. Okay, so what is a struct? So struct is something which is known as the user-defined data type. Okay, so what is a user-defined data type? So let's take a voting system, and you are designing an entire voting system. So basically, as a designer of a voting system, first thing which would come into my mind is the details of the voter. Okay, so details I just included 3. So basically, voter ID is something you'd need. You'd need age, you'd need name, maybe address and stuff. So all of these variables are grouped into one part. So it's all grouped and then made into one data type, which can be used to make a list of all the voters. So this makes it easier. So the job becomes easier for us because the details of one user is present in just one data type. Okay, so that's how you do it. So first you want to define the struct keyword followed by the name of that struct. Okay, and then you're going to again initialize your integers if it's an integer type, or okay, so bytes is another type of string, but the only thing is that the number of characters are fixed in a bytes type of variable, whereas in a string type of variable there is a dynamic length of that string that you can define this. Okay, so that's what the struct means. Okay, so next is something known as the mapping. Okay, so guys, I hope you're getting an idea of what I'm trying to say. But if it's a little tough to follow along, don't worry. We'll be doing a project along, so that time you'll get a clearer picture of what I'm trying to convey. Okay. So next part is referred to as mapping. Okay, so mapping is similar to hashing, or if you've done dictionaries, so it's pretty similar to that. Okay, so mapping is kind of a key and a value type of stuff. Okay, so let's imagine you're a 75-year-old man and you want to distribute the assets among all your children. Okay, so how are you going to do that? So you are going to create a smart contract, and then you're going to say, okay, fine. Yeah, I told you that every account is actually uniquely defined by an address. So you'll say that, okay, my first child having this account, I'm going to put in so much amount, so he'll be entitled to so much amount of my assets. So that's how we're going to do. So this first person's address will get so much amount. So second person's address will get so much amount. So that's how exactly you're going to keep doing in case of a mapping. And this control will be in case of, will be in the hands of the 75-year-old man. Okay, so I hope this is you understood that. Okay, so the next is the functions in text. Okay, so where do you write the business logic? So what are you going to do, or how are you going to transfer funds and stuff? This can be done by using functions. So functions is where you write your business logic, and you can reuse it any number of times. Okay, so that's what it basically means. Okay, so this is another application of blockchain. So blockchain has its application in healthcare as well. So to maintain the records of the patients, and so that it can be accessible to any hospitals in case of emergency. So so in this case, I just took a simple example. So wherein you're finding out whether the person is diabetic or not. So how exactly are you going to store it? So here is a variable which is a bool type, and it's initialized to false. So first, initially, we're going to assume that the person does not have diabetes. Okay, so once the person comes in, like say he enters into the hospital, and then he fills in a form in which he says, okay, I am diabetic. Okay, so he will be given a form wherein he has to fill out whether he is diabetic or not. Okay, so whatever his input, that is whatever he types, it will be stored in this parameter that's present here. Okay, and this is again followed by the access specifier, which is going to be public, which means everyone has the power, or other contracts can also access this function here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is the status of the patient being diabetic or not will be assigned to whatever he's inputted, or whatever he's given. Okay, so this is one part. So next part is the view functions. So view functions are nothing but read-only functions. Okay, so basically the whenever the state of the smart contract changes, when the state of the variables that are present in the smart contract changes. Okay, so so what this view function does is it does not modify the state of this contract. That is, it does not play with any of the variables. It just takes in values and displays them as it is. So that's what view functions does. Okay, so that's another. Okay, this part will be explained while doing a project. And yeah, guys, thank you. That's my time. So next, I'll ask Shubham to take over and explain the details.
Thank you, Shrishti. So now enough of all the theory part. Let's get into action. I hope all of you have installed whatever we had told. Let me share my screen. Shrishti, can you stop sharing? Okay, is my screen visible?
No. Can you stop and screen share again?
Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so initially when Srinidhi had told you to do npm install, if you all have successfully done it, you should see a folder called node modules over here. So drop a yes in chat box if you can see this.
Can you explain this part again? How to install?
So you had your template, right? So it's unzipped. You click on this address bar, type cmd. So it will open your command prompt in that directory. Then you have to type npm install, and then you press enter. It takes some time. That's why we had asked you to do it earlier. It's okay, you can do it now if you haven't done it. So once you do this, okay, so I'm assuming you all have node modules installed. I want you to...
Shubham, 1 second. There are few errors they're saying. Jagannath, were you able to install now? I think, yeah, you can move.
Okay. So I want you to click on this address bar. I'm going step by step. Type cmd, press enter. Now, if you have downloaded Visual Studio Code with default settings, if you press code space dot, it should open your Visual Studio Code. And you should see your code on this Explorer side. Now, let me quickly explain you what this is, because it must be a lot for you. So first we have package.json. It has a lot of dependencies which we gave you in the template. It has Web3, Truffle. So Truffle is used for your blockchain stuff. Web3 is used to connect your blockchain to the front-end part, which you'll see in your browser. And you have NodeMon and Light Server, which are used to deploy your application in the browser. And Chai is used for testing, which will be the last part of this workshop. So whenever there's a package.json and you do npm install, all those dependencies will get installed, and they are in this node modules folder, which is very huge and scary. So let's close it. And in contracts is what Shrishti and Srinidhi were explaining. So there is a default one called migrations, which doesn't do much. And this is a to-do list, which that is the application we'll be building. And I've given you a skeleton. So these are the functions which will be completing. There's a create task function and a toggle completed to tell whether you have completed the task or you want to mark it unchecked. So that's that. And then migrations. So now suppose you write something in this program, you want to deploy it on blockchain. So to do that, you use something called migration to migrate your code from your system to blockchain. So the naming convention, it should be a number followed by the name of the migration. So first is 1_initial migration, which is a default one. Then 2 is deploy contract, which is made by us. So you'll see that this one, it is used to deploy the to-do list contract, which we write. And in source folder, we have index.html. So this is the front-end part of the to-do list, which we have already given it to you, written in HTML. And there's an app.js, which has a lot of unimplemented functions to control the front end through the blockchain part, which we'll be writing. So we'll be completing this also as we progress in the course. And there is some BS config for your front end to access the folders we have made it, we have exposed them. And then there's Truffle config. So these are this is just a boilerplate, which you can also generate. All you need to do, don't type it right now, Truffle init. So if you type this, you get the same structure, which I'm showing it to you right now, but it won't have this to-do list. That is something which we have added. So if this is done, I want you to go back to your command prompt and type Truffle. If I'm too fast or you don't understand, then stop me. I'll re-explain it. So type Truffle, compile, and press enter. Okay, so you will see that writing artifacts to dot build contracts. if you have successfully done this, you'll see a new folder called build, and it has 2 JSON files, and to-do list is what we are concerned with. So let's see what it has. It has something called bytecode and deployed bytecode. So this is the actual code which blockchain system will be running. We don't understand it. It is the converted code that which we have written for the blockchain system to understand. And there is nothing. Srinidhi will explain as it does. So there's a function called create task, which we have defined it over there. So this is what will get deployed on your blockchain system. Now to deploy it, I want you all to open Ganache. And I request you to not to close this throughout this course, because if we close it, then we'll have to reconfigure it.
I think Shubham, you can explain the Truffle installation again.
Where?
Just npm install Truffle.
Okay, because it's not global. All right. So
Just
yeah.
If I open the zip file, I try to type CMB there. I couldn't do it.
You have to unzip it first.
Can you tell how?
Yeah.
Right click and press extract all. Okay, so if the Truffle compile didn't work, then I want you to type npm install -g Truffle. So what this does is that it installs Truffle globally on your system so that you can run it from anywhere. So type npm install -g Truffle and press enter. It'll take some time. I have already installed it. Srinidhi, can you put that in the chat box?
Yeah, just a second. Guys, I'll put a command. Please install, type this command.
Okay, I'll wait for 2 minutes.
Yeah, you guys have any doubts in this installation, you can do it right now. You can ask any queries regarding anything in installation errors or something regarding cryptocurrency. If you want, you can ask. Yeah, Harsha, you have to type this command npm install g -g Truffle.
npm is not recognized. You haven't installed Node.js.
Okay, you have Skandan and Shashank haven't installed Node.js. Did you install it after downloading it?
Yeah, I extracted all the files. So which one should I open and type CPM?
So
CPM.
open that folder. You should see this. Okay.
Which one?
You should see package.json source test.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so there in the address bar, type cmd and do npm space install.
Okay. And
then do npm install -g Truffle.
Shubham probably asked them to again explain this Node.js one.
npm is not recognized.
Harsha and Skandan and Shashank, can you say if you have installed npm or did you download the npm after downloading the zip folder?
Then
what is the error you're getting?
You just need to install npm and you'll have it. But yeah, you won't have the node modules. After you unzip the file and you run npm install, the node modules get installed over there.
Okay, nice. Skandan is installing.
Okay, until then, I want you all to open Ganache. Put npm install -g Truffle, so it takes some time. And open Ganache. Click on quick start. So what Ganache is, it's a simulation of actual blockchain on your system so that you can build applications and test them. So I'll show you when it loads.
Shashank, did you install npm node modules? Okay, good.
Okay, so Ganache has loaded, you'll see there are many different addresses which are different accounts on my system, and each of them has a balance of 100 Ethereum. Anytime we deploy our smart contracts on this, it is going to charge us some Ethereum, and it is running on this address http 127.0.0.1 port 7545, and if until your Truffle gets installed, you can ask questions, because I'll have to wait for that to get installed, else we can't proceed. After putting cmd, do npm space install.
Let her do the npm install also, Truffle once. Try installing again, Skandan, Ganache. Close it and install again.
No, I think just wait for your Truffle to get installed.
Wait for your Truffle to get installed. People who joined now recently, please install all the requirements, the text we sent you. The G form, I think I can, Shivam, can you put that in the chat box again, the requirement.txt. So install everything which we have mentioned in the requirement.
Drop a yes if you have installed Truffle globally, which is npm install -g Truffle. When it gets completed, please drop a yes. You can type it anywhere, doesn't matter.
Just type it anyway. Since it is -g, that means it's globally, it will be installed in your laptop.
When the installation is done, if you type Truffle, then you'll get something. It won't show that Truffle is not found.
We have a doubt in YouTube. People are asking what is Truffle. Can you explain what is Truffle once?
So Truffle is an entire suite for your blockchain application. So it has an integrated support for Ganache, and it's just a simulation of blockchain, and it provides you an ability to deploy your blockchain code, the smart contracts, and to like deploy it and check, run tests against them. Did anybody finish npm install G Truffle? Okay, Girish is done. So Girish, Truffle compile works for you now? Cool.
What exactly is Truffle?
So Truffle is a package that lets you, the blockchain application that you write, how do you deploy it on the blockchain and how do you test it? So Truffle will provide you an entire suite of services to actually deploy it on a simulation on your system and check it.
Okay, we have an error. 1 second.
Okay. So wait, guys, wait. Don't do anything. Just finish npm install global Truffle. Once you are done, wait. I'll show it to you.
They're getting an npm error.
Yeah, they must be doing it from wrong direction.
I'll tell them that.
How to know Truffle installation is complete? Just type Truffle. If it shows command not found, then it's not installed. If it shows something else, it's installed.
Or type Truffle space --v. It will give you this version.
So if I type Truffle, then I get how to use Truffle. because I have it installed.
Shreyash, wait for the installation to happen. After that, when all the installation is done, we want you to install Truffle by this command. Just have this, type this command, Shreyash, and we'll get that. Manasa 64-bit. Shubham, can you address Jagannath's error?
Jagannath, you are trying to what command are you trying to run? Can you unmute and talk so that we can deal with it quicker? Okay, did you run npm install G Truffle? Yeah, Windows installer, Manasa. And is your npm install G Truffle command completed? And if it's completed, close your command prompt and reopen it. Okay, now whoever has completed npm install G Truffle, please drop a yes. Others? I'll tell you what to do after Truffle. So first install Truffle.
Yes, Prajwal, you have to install it globally. Type npm install -g Truffle. npm warning
Yeah,
is
warning
not.
it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So quick summary again. After I understand.
Wait,
Shivam.
I'll just show step by step as to what is to be done. So
No. Start with this thing, Shubham.
Yeah. Yes. So you all downloaded a template, and I'm assuming Node.js and VS Code has been installed. I want you to click on this address, type cmd, press enter to npm install, press enter. But this will happen. Leave it alone. Then open another command prompt. Type npm install global truffle. Press enter. Once this gets completed, tell if it's completed in chat box.
Yeah, only 3 steps. You don't have, it's like if you have done it in the say after the installation of everything, it's okay. These 3 steps, if you have done these 3 steps, yes, say yes or say where are you at, so we'll wait. Okay, Vivek is done.
Vivek is done. Girish is done.
I entered CMD next. Okay, so go enter in that CMD, type npm space install. Can you say what errors were, Vansh? Just after entering CMD, type npm install.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have entered nmp install truffle --g. It says 8.1.2.
Yeah, I think the version is displayed.
What did you enter?
What did you enter?
npm install truffle --v.
It is -g npm install -g truffle.
Can you share it in the chat box?
Wait. I think it's Truffle is installed. It's saying the version. Can you type Truffle minus minus V? Only Truffle minus minus V?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, just enter Truffle minus minus V and tell us the version. I think it's already installed in yours. What did you get, Jagannath?
It says error.
Okay, after npm install, Shreyansh, type this. Type what Shubham sent. I'll send again. Type this command. After these three steps are done, one is the npm install, then npm install truffle. Can you say yes? What to do if it is error? Cannot find model. Vivek, can you on your mic and say what is exactly what error so we can move it fast?
What
Hello?
command did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I gave truffle minus V. It gave
Only
as
truffle minus.
error cannot find module.
Okay, type this, Vivek. Type this command.
PM. Okay.
Again, I'll repeat. Install all the requirements we sent in Google Drive. Google Form. Google Doc, which we sent. Install all the requirements in that.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, Tejas.
Hello.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, Tejas.
Can
Hello.
I answer now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I extracted all the files in that blockchain template, and then I went to the folder. I opened the folder. I got test contract migrations and all. Where should I type CMD? I didn't get it.
Okay, everybody see my screen. I'll explain it very slowly. So this is my blockchain template, extracted one. I'll type over here in this address bar. I'll type CMD. I press enter. Now I have to do npm install and press enter and leave this alone. Now in your search bar over here, type CMD and click enter. You get a command prompt. Type npm install -g truffle and press enter. That's it.
I have to extract from the blockchain file and then open it.
You extracted it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Open the folder. At the top, type CMD.
Yeah, search in blockchain template. There.
No.
Not
Over here. Do you see the name of the folder?
Yeah. Blockchain template.
Yeah. Double click over there. Remove everything and type CMD. Press enter.
Okay. I'll try it.
Shashank is asking, he wants to see Unsane. Can you show Unsane, Shubham?
Okay. So this is my extracted folder. Over here, I type CMD, press enter.
A warning you can neglect the warnings. Yeah.
I type npm install and press enter. Then I minimize this. I go here. I type CMD. I press enter. I type npm install -g truffle and press enter. Leave this alone.
Very easy 3 steps. I think everyone are done by now. Are everyone done? Can you reply in the chat box at least?
So I'm done, but it is saying npm error.
Are you able to get Truffle version?
How to get it?
Okay, just type Truffle in your command and see if it is working. If you don't get any error, then it's installed. Nice, Nitin. Okay, we have Shreyansh is installing.
Prajwal, your error looks like there's a problem with internet connection. Or you typed something wrong.
Command prompt, I have to type npm install --g.
No, only one hyphen.
First time in the folder npm install, then another command prompt npm install -g truffle.
Okay.
I typed truffle, it's saying error only.
Is your truffle installation complete?
No, I guess it is saying module not found.
And do you have npm on your system? Can you see a node modules folder in your template?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so you have npm installed. And what happened when you did npm install g truffle? What was the end result? Tejas, you're on the right track, so it'll take some time to load and install.
Actually, it was a npm error. A complete log of this run can be found in it. This was the last line.
I guess you must have done a spelling mistake in truffle or something.
I actually copy pasted what you sent in the chat box.
Can you type here? What did you type there in command prompt?
At 11:30, I'll be continuing with my explanation.
So guys, make it fast. We can't have this all day. Okay, Vanish has the error.
Why do I see Python over
there? Jagannath, did you install npm install -g truffle? Did you type that? Yes. That's the command to see if you have installed it. To type that, before you have to type npm install -g truffle.
Yeah, Medha, you are on the right track. Yeah, yes, truffle version, yeah.
No, Jagannath, that's the wrong command. You have to type this. Jagannath, type this command. Yes, the version is correct, and you have installed the latest version also.
Truffle.config, it is something which we gave you in the template.
You don't have to do anything with it now. Don't just leave it like that and install the truffle and tell us if you're done. We'll move ahead.
In 1 minute, I'm starting. Those of you who couldn't get it installed, just follow along. In the end, I'll just share you the entire code, and you might contact us. We'll help you get it running on your system.
Follow along and see how it's done. Okay, very good, Medha.
Okay, now I'm continuing. So you'll see that in Ethereum, I mean in your Ganache, you'll see a lot of addresses and balances, and you'll see it's running on this port. I want you to go to your blockchain template, type cmd and type truffle compile, and press enter.
Did
So,
everyone do that?
so as soon as you do it, you'll see there's a build folder coming in over here. So if you can see that build folder, you're on the right path.
Can everyone see the build folder after typing truffle compile? Whoever has installed truffle, I think you can go ahead with this.
Okay, Girish can see. Only Girish can see it.
Only Girish. I think Yash also can see. Yash, can you type if you have done install? Yash, Meda,
Dhanush, next.
Dhanush, Jagannath. I think you can also give it a try once.
Truffle compile.
After installation of truffle, did you type the truffle command which we gave you? Okay, yes, Dhanush, Meda, Girish, everyone can say yes. Okay, moving ahead.
No,
Working
just a
with me,
second.
I'll try to
Others.
Okay,
I don't
no
know,
problem.
only 3 people following me.
Jagannath, please see the entire session, and at the end we can clear your error. So make sure you follow along. All the other people also, if you're facing any more error, it's okay. We follow along, and we'll explain you in the middle or at the end of the session.
Okay, so now Truffle has been compiled on your system. So there's a code which is waiting to be deployed somewhere. So how will we deploy it? We'll type Truffle migrate reset. Reset is because if there's any instance or something which have already migrated, you don't want any conflicts or something. So we use the reset flag. Truffle migrate hyphen reset and press enter. So you'll see I get a summary that total deployments were 2 and it costed me this much Ethereum. So total deployments are 2 because I have 2 migrations. One initial migration, 2 deploy contract. This is what we are actually concerned with, the second one. So once this is done, I want you to type npm run dev and you press enter. If you can't follow along, tell me to stop.
Can you tell me the command had network issue? Okay, I'll type the commands, whatever Shubham will type there, and you can go ahead.
So can you all see this localhost 3000 in your browser? Okay, only Dhanush can see it. Guys,
Nida, Dhanush, and all the other people who couldn't install Truffle, at least type npm run dev. You can see the local host being built. Jagannath, I think you can go ahead with this. If you don't have Truffle, it's no problem. You can type npm run dev.
I thought Medha was finally so excited with Truffle getting installed. Where did she go?
Manasa, type npm run dev. Everyone type npm run dev. So Girish, Dhanush, it's working.
Shall I continue or does anybody want me to stop?
Just if you guys want us to stop and wait, please reply, unmute or say something in the chat box, or else we'll move ahead.
Yeah, after truffle migrate hyphen reset, what is the next command that we give?
npm run dev.
npm run dev.
Nitin, you have a node modules error. We will resolve it in the end. So stay with the session. Working. I am reinstalling. Okay, reinstall Tejas. I lost track after installing Truffle. Okay, Maida. So after you install the Truffle, we want you to go to command prompt and type Truffle. Shubham, can you probably explain them the compile from compile?
Okay, look, I'll type the 3 commands which you need to do. Truffle, compile,
64
then Truffle, migrate, reset, and npm run dev. Type these 3 commands one after another. Once like first one gets completed, type the next one.
Yeah, after I run that npm run dev, it gives me like localhost 3000 in a web browser and to-do list. It's loading. Whether I'm on a right track?
Yes. Yes. Meda is getting an error. What is the error actually?
Hello? Medha, where exactly are you typing these commands? You need to be in the
In the
same
command prompt.
Yeah, in the command prompt. So see, you have the template, right?
Yeah.
So there you type cmd, and over
Okay.
here you type those 3 commands in the same directory.
Okay, fine. I'll try.
Kriti Ravi, can you type the command which I gave you? Tejas and Kriti.
Ideally, it is the right track, so it takes time to install.
Yeah. CMP is not working. What can I do? CMD it is, not CMP.
Done. Anyone else who completed? Could you get the website running?
Did everyone get the website running? Tejaswini.
I'm still getting an error.
What's the error?
It says is light server is not recognized as an internal or external command.
Did you do npm install in that directory? Can you see
Yeah.
node module folder over there?
No, I'm not finding that folder.
Yeah, because you didn't do npm install over there.
Yeah, I'm finding it. I found that node modules file there.
Yeah,
There.
then npm run dev should work if we are in the right directory. See, you are in the directory of the template, and here you type npm run dev, it will work. If you are in an other directory or something, it won't work.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Others, are there any other error or? Tejaswini, make sure that you have a stable internet connection and then try to install the directories. Yes, Girish, we have. We'll explain you that. Shubham will explain how to connect also. It's already written for you.
Okay, so I'm continuing now. if you right click in your website and press inspect, you should see an error over here which says non-Ethereum browser detected. You should consider trying MetaMask. So what is MetaMask? It's a browser extension which lets your browser connect to the Ethereum on your system. So let's open a new tab, type MetaMask extension and click on the first link and click on add to Chrome.
So wait a second.
Okay.
Let them install it. Did everyone type MetaMask in Google and added their extension? Okay, Girish did it. Wait, Anush did it.
Okay, so for those of you who couldn't install Truffle or something, you could try this. Open CMD as an administrator. So you type CMD over here, click on run as administrator, and then type npm install -g truffle.
Jagannath, I think you can try this. Jagannath and people who are getting errors such as Tejaswini also and Nitin. Guys, Shubham will give you one more demo. Please see this. Tejaswini, Jagannath, and whoever getting the truffle error. See here.
Type CMD in search bar. Click on run as administrator. Choose yes. And now you type npm install -g truffle. You can give this a try.
Tejaswini, do like this what Shubham just did. Open your command prompt as in run as administrator and type this command. Yes, Shreyansh, it's okay. Warnings can be neglected. That's what we do as engineers.
Tell me when you're ready. I'll keep playing with this box until then.
Tejaswini, were you able to install?
So what's the status? How many of you installed MetaMask? Me. Yeah. Only Annam? Dhanush, Girish.
Shreyansh is also done.
Yeah.
Yes, Vivek, MetaMask extension. Jagannath is done. Vivek is done. Samhita is done.
Okay, so I think I can continue.
Yeah, you can, I guess.
So once you install, you'll be on the screen. So stop playing with the fox like me and click on get started. Now you have an option to import wallet. Click on that. Click I agree. Now you have a box for select recovery phase. Recovery phrase. So open Ganache. You'll see a mnemonic over here. It'll be different for you. It's all every time you reopen it, it'll be a different thing. So copy this entire line, go to your MetaMask and paste it there. Now your password can be any random thing. I'll give mine. Click on I have read and agreed to the terms of use. And secret recovery phase. Oops, what happened? Now I click on import. You'll say congratulations and I'll say all done. Now we'll see that it shows 0 Ethereum for account 1, but I am supposed to have 99.99 Ethereum. So how do I get it? I click on this Ethereum mainnet. You'll see some account over there. Click on add network. Then in settings, you'll see a tab called networks. Click on that. Then the last option, localhost 8545. Click on it and then press delete. It'll ask a confirmation, press delete. Now click on add a network. Type any network name that you want. I'll type Ganache. It'll ask new RPC URL. So RPC URL is where your Ganache is running right now. Then Ganache will find it in RPC server. I copy it and paste it over here. Chain ID, it is 1337. And you click on save. I'll wait if you want to see this.
Yeah. Guys, again saying go to settings in the MetaMask, then make add a network and the network name give anything. Here Shubham gave Ganache. For the RPC URL, go to your Ganache. You will see in the top bar RPC URL, copy paste that. It will be something like HTTP 127.0.0.1 kind of thing. Copy paste it in new RPC URL, and in chain ID mention that it's 1337. Add that as your chain ID here and save it. We'll explain why you are doing all these things again. For now, just do this.
So as soon as I saved it, I get my actual balance, which is 99.9947 Ethereum, which is properly configured. Now if I go to my localhost 3000 and I press enter, it will open MetaMask and it will ask, do you want to connect with it? So we'll say next, connect, and it's connected. So if you see 2 warnings and 1 error that send transactions from field must be defined, you are on the right track.
Chain ID is 1337, Jagannath. Yeah. Everyone can see your Ethereum account here in MetaMask. You are just connecting your the MetaMask to your Ganache. Whatever the Ethereum coins you had in the starting in Ganache, you are connecting these 2 links. If it is showing 0, it's still not connected to your blockchain. connect it properly, add a new network, Vivek, and in that network, give any network name, whatever you want, and then for the RPC URL, go to your Ganache, copy paste that URL, then for chain ID, give 1337. Yeah, I have 100 because of the truffle.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't migrate it over there. Thank you.
It's okay. If it is showing 100, then it is connected. But if it is not reduced like 99, it's because the truffle wasn't installed properly inside. It's okay. You can move along. We will resolve your issues at the end.
Yeah, go to add a new network, but before that, in networks, delete the last one, localhost 8545 or something like
Shivam,
that.
you might
Delete
show
it,
that
then
here.
add.
Like where to go? Can you show that again? The settings.
Okay. So over here, click on whatever name you have. Click on add network. Click on networks. You will have some localhost something over here. Click on that and delete it first. Then you do add a network and create one. You can give any name. The URL comes from Ganesh, and this chain ID is 1337. Once you click on save, you should see your 100 ethers.
Are everyone staying with us now for now? I think we can go ahead.
Okay, so now our project setup is complete. Now we'll be writing our first smart contract, and Srinidhi will be doing that.
Bro, once again from Ad Network.
Once again from add network. Okay, so you give any name, RPC URL from Ganesh. You can see it over here, RPC server. Copy paste it, and chain ID is 1337.
And then
Do
save.
that and save it.
Okay, I think everyone are with this. With this, we will be moving on to anything else? No, nothing else, nothing else. Srishti, can you see their messages for now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So now we will go to the most exciting part, that as of now we did all this hardship and all. What did we do that to create a smart contract? Now let's start by creating a first smart contract, your smart contract. Open your VS Code or Sublime, whatever you are installed. Open to this folder, contracts. Go to this folder, contracts, and then go to to-do list dot sol. You have a folder called to-do list dot sol. Are everyone with me now? Did everyone open to-do list dot sol, the contract? Yes, everyone got opened it. Yes, nice. Now, since here I'll explain few topics. As Srishti told in her solidity thing, first line is pragma solidity 0.422 less than 0.9.0. There's nothing but we are saying the compile version of solidity. It's like this version is like if it is between 0.422 and 0.90, it is compilable. Since many of you told that you installed 5.8, someone installed 5.8, someone installed 5.2, whatever the version you got, it will be always between these two things. So that is the first line. Here is a dummy contract. We have first created a dummy contract. We have created and gave you a dummy contract. The contract name is to-do list, which has now it's something like a class, as Srishti explained, something like a class in C++ or Java. So here we have a constructor, we have a create task function and a toggle completed function. Everyone know what a constructor is, right? Constructor is a function that will be, it's kind of like a function that will be executed as soon as this contract is created. Now, what are we building here? We are building a to-do list, right? So what and all should we add? We should add tasks in to-do list. No, we add like task like I should get up tomorrow at 9. I should finish physics lesson. I should finish chemistry lesson by 9. All these are tasks we added in to-do list. So to create a task, I need the total number of counts in the task, right? Let's say I say your task count. Let's see. I'll assign it to 0. So here uint is nothing but a variable name, like unit integer. It's meaning like it is an integer value like 0, 1, 2, 3, as Srishti explained. Task count will create a variable which has an integer value is equal to 0. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a count, the total number of tasks in the to-do list. And one thing I should do is I should make it public. Why should I make it public? So it's accessible everywhere outside. If it is public, if I add a keyword public, I can access task count variable everywhere outside this entire file. Okay. Now, okay, let's say we save this, and then now we need to create a task. So what should the task have? What should it have? First thing is it should have content, right? The content, I mean, when you say I have to get up at 8 o'clock, the task should be I have to get up at 8 o'clock. This I have to get up at 8 o'clock, it is a string, it is a content. So it should have that. Then what else it should have? We should have like it should come, is it completed or not completed, right? If the task is completed, we'll be like, oh, it's completed. If it is not completed, we'll say it's not completed. So the value is completed or not completed. We can use Boolean for that. And then to identify each task, we need an ID. Like how do you identify this task? You can't say like you can have multiple tasks. So we need to have an ID, unique ID to identify each task. So we need all these three parameters to create a task. What is that? One is an ID. We need an what else do we need? We need content, and then we need if it is completed or not completed, right? So let's create that. So for all these things are like different data types or different variables. So we can use a data structure that is given by us, that is struct. Struct, I'll use a task. So here you see, this is struct space task. Then you have open braces, curly braces, and then I type what else I need. I need an ID, right? That is used to access this task. Then I told you I need content, that is string. So I say content. Then what else do I need? I need what? I need Boolean. I need if it is completed or not. So it has to be either true or false. So that is Boolean value, bool completed. So this is how a task gets created. See, now we have a task which has ID, which has content, and which has it is completed or not. Understood? Now, now that we have this, let's just create. Let's just Control S, save this, and see if it is already. If it is, we don't have any errors. Okay. Open your command prompt in this folder only inside the blockchain template wala. Everyone still with me in this? Everyone typed, created a task and the task count. Everyone created it.
Can you wait for a minute?
Yeah, Jagannath, tell.
On the VS Code.
Okay. We are creating a task count variable and we make it public. Then we have a task wala structure which has ID, content, and completed. Did everyone type this? Guys, code along with me. When I type, you guys also type with me so that we'll be in sync. Okay, we'll be synced and we can move ahead faster.
Yeah, done.
You have done? Nice. So everyone did this. Save this. Control S. Save it in your Visual Studio or this Sublime Text. Then open command prompt in this folder only inside the blockchain template which gave you. Everyone open command prompt. I'll say then type truffle compile, the same command which Shubham used to see if we have compiled the entire Solidity contract. When you type Truffle compile, it will compile your contract and see if you have any errors or not. Compile successfully using C. Compile successfully means we don't have any errors, right? Whatever we type now, we don't have any errors. Everyone understood that? Shubham, can I move ahead now?
Oh, actually, it is showing the error in mine.
Because
Show
you
error.
haven't installed Truffle, is it correct?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was
it's
error.
okay. So people who haven't installed Truffle, it's okay. Stay with us. When we complete the entire project here, at the end you can just we'll be with you and we'll help you install the Truffle. Okay, is it okay?
So now you can't see it in action, but just follow along the code part. At the end of it, we will try to deploy it on your system also.
Is it okay? Okay, so now we have an individual task and we have a task count, the total number of tasks that is. So now we have to create a list of tasks, right? So we have one task. Now we have to create a structure to store the list of tasks. So since we already have a task count as ID to pick each task as unique task, I think I can use mapping. Srishti introduced us to mapping. Remember, mapping is nothing but a data structure which contains both. It contains like a key value pair. You can access a value with the help of a key. Understood? What is the key here? The ID. For each task, we have an ID, right? That will be the key. The value will be the whole task itself. So I'll say mapping, and I'll open the braces, and here I want to give the type of key I want. What is the type of key here? I told key will be ID, right? What is its type? It's integer. Sorry, integer. So the type of the key will be integer, and then it assigns to what is the value? I told it will be task. So type of value will be task, and then I'll name it as task. List of tasks. This structure will store the list of tasks, and I'll make it public so that I can access it from anywhere. Did you guys understand this? Now that we have a task, we have a list of tasks. Now it's time that we create and add a task to this, right? So to write I am telling you to, because we need to do public here, because so that we can access it from anywhere outside this file also. Okay, that's why we type public. Now that we have a list of tasks and we have a task, let's go ahead and create a task. So this create task function is already given to you, and it is taking a parameter content, right? When you want to create a task, you just add it as a content, right? When you want to create a new task, what will you do in your to-do list? I'll say like, I want to get up early tomorrow. So that will be the content. With this only, we'll create a new task now. So what I'll do first I'll do is task count. I'll add plus plus. What will this do? Now the task count is 0. We don't have any task. So when we create a task, I'll increment the task count. So task count, this is nothing but task count is equal to task count plus 1. That is, we are incrementing the task count, right? We have added a new task. So task count will become from 0 to 1. So its shorter way is to write task count plus plus. Understood? Now we'll create a task. So tasks of task count is equal to task. I'll tell you why we are doing this. So here you see, as I told you, task is a map. It is a key value pair. You access each task by its ID. So what are we giving here ID? Can anyone say what we are giving ID as for this? The ID is nothing but the task count itself. Task count is integer. So we are passing it as an ID to task and assigning it with a new value. So here we create a new task. In this task, I'll be passing out what and all see. This task is this one, right? So what and all do I need to pass here? I need to pass an ID. What is the ID I gave? ID was task count. So I'll pass task count. Then I should pass a content. What content? I'm getting the content from this parameter. See here, the underscore content, that is a parameter I'm getting. Then I need to pass if it is completed or not. Since we are creating a task, is it directly completed? No, right? When we are adding a new task to a to-do list, you want to do it, right? So when you want to create a new task, it's always not completed. So you type it as false, which means that you are creating a task with ID as task count and the content whatever you get here. and then what you're doing, you're making setting the completed part as false. Everyone understood this? How to create a task? You create a new task by taking this task count, content, and false. This will create a new task, and you assign an ID for that as task count so that you can access it easily. Now, as I told you, task count is nothing but the total number of tasks. And right, for example, if you have a list of tasks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks are there, the total number of tasks will be named as task count. Now, in constructor, as I told you, constructor is the first function that will be called whenever a to-do list or this contract is being deployed or is being answered. So here, let's call it create a dummy task and see if it's working. I'll call this function create task, and I'll give a content to this. What content I'll say? I'll say first task. Okay. Everyone with me now? So we create a function, and then we call that function inside the constructor with the value as first task. So this function will be called here. So what will first task will be? First task will be a content, and that will be passed here. Task count was 0 initially, then the task count will be incremented, then task of that task count will be called here. I know it sounds confusing and overwhelming for you, but it's very easy. I'll explain to you as soon as you understand this. After typing, everyone type the code. Did everyone type the code?
Actually, it is showing an error when I type content in the task count.
It's okay. It's okay. Visual Studio
I
is
guess
not.
it's because you don't have an extension for Solidity. It's fine.
It's fine, Jagannath. It's usually happens. Now open command prompt. After typing all these things, I wanted you guys to open command prompt. Then for people who have already installed, let's see, I'll show you one magic. See here. Truffle compile as usual. See if we don't have any errors. I think we don't have any errors. Let's see if it is compiled properly. It says compiling your contracts. Yes, compiled successfully. Now I'll migrate it. Truffle migrate minus reset. That is, I'm sending this contract to the blockchain. Let's see if the migration happens. Truffle space migrate space minus reset hyphen reset. Understood? Then let's enter. Let's migrate our contract to the blockchain. It's going to take some few seconds. You have to patiently wait. By the time you can, guys, whoever hasn't completed the code, you can. So deploying the migrations, and yes. So migrations total deployments were 2, and this costed me 0.097226 Ethereum. So as you can go back to here, Ganesh, see my Ethereum coins have been reduced because it was deployed. It was 100, no? So 100, it was reduced to 9.99. Here, open Truffle console. After doing this, type Truffle console. It will open the Truffle console, the blockchain wala console. Wait for some time, it will open. Now see, when you get like this Truffle wala development, please say yes. Everyone got this Truffle development inside the Truffle console? Yes. Okay, here inside the Truffle development platform, type, let's see if we have deployed the to-do list, right? To-do list was a contract. Let's see if we have deployed it. To-do list, I'll assign it to a variable, await to-do list dot deployed. So what does it mean? Means type this command. What does it mean? To-do list dot deployed means to-do list. This capital to-do list is the contract. If we are checking if it is deployed, get whatever you have deployed and store it in this variable to-do list, small to-do list. All right. So why are we using await keyword here? Because since it is deployed, blockchain takes some time to go and get the contract which is deployed and assign it to to-do list. So by that time we are telling them wait, then you get the to-do list. Okay. Enter. See, now it's saying undefined because we haven't done anything. So let's see now to-do list, whatever we have done. Everyone got this JSON wala format wala this as soon as you assign it. I'll tell you again what you need to do is what you guys need to do is type inside the Truffle console. What you need to do is type to-do list is equal to capital to-do list dot deployed. Okay, await. So you need to use the keyword await, then to-do list dot deployed. This will bring the all the content that has been deployed in the blockchain and assign it to the variable to-do list. And then when you type to-do list, you get this big JSON wala format. That means that it has successfully been deployed in your blockchain. Understood? Now let's see if we have successfully deployed. So we can be able to access task count, then these tasks, and the first task which we created. Let's see that. Let's see now. So the first, let's see if we can access task count. Task count is equal to to-do await to-do list. This time we need to access the to-do list with the small to-do list because we have already see it. This is the value of to-do list. Then type dot task count. Yeah, now if you type task count, here this number you'll get bn -0 words and length 1. What does it mean? By default, Truffle treats every number, every integer as a big number. Bn means very big number. So it's saying if what is the word and this thing. So if you want to see the actual value, when you assign to task count, type task count dot to number. This will convert the big number into small number, and see you are getting the value 1, right? What is the value? The task count has been increased from 0 to 1 because we have. Now we'll go and create the toggle completed function. What is toggle completed function? That is, you have to change the value every time the task has been completed, right? What you have to do, you have to just.
Can you re-explain it? Girish didn't get it.
Re-explain what actually?
Like actually, I didn't get the zero thingy. You got right number of tasks.
Okay, CC. Okay.
No. Like I'm not getting in the command prompt. I'm just getting it the JSON data before it. After that, I'm not getting anything.
It's okay, Girish. If you are not able to get it in this, you can explain. Shubham will explain in the front end how to access directly it in the front end. I'm just showing it if you have deployed it properly. If you are getting the JSON data, then that's the indication that you have deployed properly. Is it okay?
Yeah. But then I'm not getting this one. There is something in yellowish red under.
It's okay. What you have to do is that you need to do task count is equal to await to-do list the task count. It's just way to access it. It's not a problem. You'll understand how to do it in app.js. Like when Shubham will explain the front end part, you'll understand this.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll move to the toggle completed function on how to change the completed value. This value is there, no? When everything and when you have completed task, when you say I have completed this task, I woke up in the morning, and when you say task completed, how do we change it in the blockchain? So first you need to get the task from the memory, from the blockchain. So I'll say task memory. That is, we are saying that you are accessing the task from memory, and I'll say task is equal to task of ID. Which task do we need to take? I told you need to access each task by an ID, right? So if you give an ID, it will give you the task back. So I'll say I'll access the task by ID. This will give you one task, the task of that particular ID, and I'll assign it to a variable called task. Understood? I'm using a data type memory here because we are getting it from the blockchain. Okay, we are retrieving it from the blockchain. Now I'll say task dot completed. So this task, whatever this task is there, this will be like this. Okay, so I'll be changing only the value of completed, right? I'll make it, if it is true, I'll make it false. If it is false, I'll make it true. So I'll say task dot completed is equal to not of task dot completed. So not is a binary operator that will change the value of Boolean operator. This not is there, no? The not will change the value of Boolean operator. If it is true, if you use not of true, that is false. If it is false, if you use not of false, it will become true. Did you everyone understood that? Then I'll assign tasks of ID as tasks of ID to be this task. Now that I've changed the task, now that I changed the task value, see, I changed the completed value. I'll assign whatever the new task I just created by changing. I'll assign it to the wherever I got this old task. Everyone understood this part? This function, this is your first contract. You have successfully created the contract. I told you contract controls the logic behind everything. What is the logic we are doing here? The logic is that we are creating a task and we are changing if the task is completed or not. This is the logic behind the to-do list, whichever we are doing. So any project, any blockchain project you do, the contract will obviously look like this only. Everyone understood smart contracts? So successfully you have created the smart contracts. Now open the command prompt and exit out. .exit if you type will come out of the Truffle development part. Since people who have already in the console, type .exit and you'll come out of the Truffle development part and you'll be in this blockchain template. Here I'll compile again, Truffle compile. I'll compile the new changes I made. Control save first, save this contract, then go to block this CMD and then type Truffle compile. Wait for sometimes, it will compile your contract and see if you have any errors. Tell if you are getting any errors. So yes, compile successfully. Now I will migrate it. Truffle migrate minus reset. Now this contract, whatever you create a new contract, will be deployed to your blockchain. Yeah, so now you see we have deployed it and this cost me this many Ethereum coins, and you can see here my Ethereum coins have been reduced. Everyone understood how to deploy a how to create a smart contract and how to deploy a smart contract. For this application smart contract, we have created a task and we are changing if it is completed or not. It's very easy and simple. Don't get overwhelmed. If you have any doubt, you can say. Now I ask Shubham to take over.
Okay, so now we have a contract which can create a task and update the task, and it's been deployed. But how do we see it live on our front end so that you can actually use it? So I'll get you connected with the front end and the blockchain part. Let me share my screen. Okay, so what I thought I would, instead of typing, because there's a lot of JavaScript and a lot of functions to cover, I'll copy paste each function over here and send it in the chat box. Then we'll go line by line, complete a function, then again the same thing for other functions. So first, let me explain you what exactly is happening in the front end. There's an index.html, which I guess all of you can see running on localhost 3000. So we have given a set of IDs and class for each of the component which we want to edit. Say there's this pan ID which has account for its ID. Then similarly, there are other things like this loader. So we have specified IDs using which we'll be modifying their content. First, let's go to our app.js, which is the JavaScript part to modify the HTML. So I have an object called app. It has account, which will have our Ethereum account properties, contracts which will have the contract, which in this case is our to-do list contract, to-do list, which will have the actual to-do list, a loading indicator to tell whether the app is in the loading state or it is in the loaded state. Then a load function, which calls all the functions which we'll be defining next, and load web3. This is a template which you can find in the documentation of MetaMask. So what it does is it initializes that connection. When we install MetaMask and we reloaded our browser, it asks, do you want to connect? So that is what this part of code does. It connects MetaMask to your blockchain. And this is just a boilerplate. You don't need to remember or something. You'll find it in the documentation of MetaMask. Now let's go to load account. And this is the code for it. I'll share it in the chat box also. So if you paste this code in your load account, the first line const web3 is equal to new web3 window.ethereum. So it is initializing an object of type web3. Web3 is basically MetaMask is providing you with ways of accessing all the deployed blockchain contents. And in app.account, app is our object, account is another object inside it, which we'll use like a variable to store our values. We say await web3.eth.get accounts. So this is what built-in functions we have with web3, which we installed it as a JSON package. When you did npm install, you can see we have web3. So it has all these inbuilt functions which we are using right now. So we do await web3.eth.get accounts. This is something similar what Srinidhi did in his terminal by going to Truffle console. And then we have app.account. We are selecting the first value. .get accounts will give us an array of accounts, but we need only our first account which is connected right now. And we are console.logging it. So let me save it. If I go to my browser, you'll see I get my account number, which is what I see in Ganesh also, the first one. Are we all on the same page? Do you want me to re-explain it? Girish, anyone? Got it. Okay, fine. So next we have, what function do we have? We have load contract. So we have loaded our account. Now this account is going to have our contract. In this case, we are concerned with our to-do list contract. So the code for that, I'll just quickly copy paste it. Load contract. So put this code in the load contract function. I'll explain what it does. So first is const to-do list await. So using Jquery, we are getting a JSON file. So what is this JSON file? When you did Truffle compile, you got a to-do list.json in your build folder. So that is going to have a lot of information in the form of bytecode, and it has stuff like what function we have defined, what variables we have. So we are importing it into our load contract function in a variable called to-do list. Now we are writing a console.log to see what we are getting. Now we have a variable called contracts, which is of type object. So app.contracts.to-do list. So inside contracts in a variable called to-do list, we are going to do Truffle contract to-do list. This Truffle contract is an inbuilt function given by the Truffle package, which we installed by doing npm install. And then app.contracts.to-do list.set provider. We are telling who is our provider, so where our Ganesh is running. So this is also like a boilerplate code. It's just like configurational stuff. And then app.to-do list await app.contracts.to-do list.deployed. So in this, when we set provider and all, we got a connection. Now there we are finding our deployed code and we are putting it in to-do list variable. So over here we'll have our to-do list. Let's check it out. I'll again put a console.log for app.to-do list. So now if I go to my browser, so this is our entire contract object, and this is our only to-do list which we got. It has a lot of stuff which we won't understand if we just see it. So let's use it in our HTML code and put it to the front end. So our next function is render. So let's render something on the screen. Control C. So put this in the render function. So what is it doing? It says app.setLoading to true. We have a set loading function which is not implemented as of now. Then this is Jquery. So what it is doing is $#account. So hash account, it's a way of getting an element by its ID. So as I showed you earlier in the HTML part, there is a span whose ID is account. So when we do $#account, we get this element. And then what are we doing? We are setting its content .html. So the inner content of the span, we are setting it as app.account. What does account contain as of now? It contains our account address. We saw it over here. And then we await app.renderTasks. So that's also a function which we are yet to implement. And then we set loading to false. So first we set loading to true, so it shows that it's loading. Then we load our stuff. Then we tell loading has stopped, and we show our actual stuff. So if I save and I see it over here, I won't see any difference because my loading is not implemented and render tasks is also not implemented. Let us first implement our loading function. So set loading. So I want you to copy paste it in the set loading section. So what set loading is doing? We have a global variable called loading, which I showed you earlier, which is set to false currently. So when we pass a Boolean value, say app loading is true. So we set app loading to true. Then we have a loader and a content from HTML. So you'll see that we have given it an ID over here. This is a loader and this is the content. So when it is loading, we only want to show that it is loading and we don't want to show the content. And when it's not loading, we don't want to show the loader and we only want to show the content. So for that, we take those two in a variable, and if Boolean, so if true, so if it is loading, we show loader.show. This is our Jquery syntax, and content we hide it. If it is not loading, we hide the loader and we show the content. So if I save this, go to the browser, you'll see that I have my task. It's not loading anymore. I'll refresh it. You'll see it was loading for just a fraction of a second, and now we have our task. So that loading, unloading is working properly. And next, what did we miss? We have app.renderTasks. So remember, we have a constructor in this to-do list.solve, which is creating our first task by default. Let's try to get it on the screen. So in render task function, this is going to be a little big. Control C. Close it with this. So this is our render task function. So let me explain you what it is doing. So first we have our task count variable, and from app.todo list we are getting our task count. So task count is our global variable over here. So we are getting it and storing it in a task count variable. And task template, it's a class in our front end. Task template over here. So we are storing it in a variable using Jquery. And then we write a for loop. So how many tasks do we want to show? We want to show the number of tasks as task count. So we run a for loop You might have seen it in any other language like C, C++, Java. It's same as that. So for I equal to 1 to I less than or equal to task count, what do? First we fetch that task. It's an array, so we have to fetch just one task. So app.todolist.tasks, and by giving the index position from I, we fetch that task. Then we have three variables: task ID, task content, and task completed. So task ID will have task. So in the task, the first object of the array task. So when you access it using an index, so task.0 will have our task ID, task 1 will have our task content, and task 2 will have our task completed. So we are storing these in these three variables. Now we have to show it in the front end. How do we do that? We take the task template, which we had put it in a variable over here, and we make a clone out of it and store it in new task template. Now in new task template, we find a class called content. So where is content here? Content. So this, we find this div. This is what displays our tasks in a checklist. So we take that, and we to its content we add a task content. So it's like first task. It'll add that content over there. Then in that we find our input box, and in input we will say prop name. So let's say I have 10 tasks. Each task should be uniquely identified in some way, so that when I check a task, we know that which task got checked, so that we can mark it as completed. So there's a name property in HTML. So we assign task ID, which we know is unique for every task, and then checked. Because we use a checker, like that tick box. So whether it's checked or unchecked is defined by a Boolean value. So here we use task completed, which we get from our task, whether it's completed or not. So if it's completed, we show a check, or else we uncheck it. And on click. So on click of that, when you check it, what should happen? We should toggle it as completed. You have already written a function to toggle it as completed. So we just have to call it, which is not yet implemented. We'll do it next. So if task is completed, we put it in completed task list, or else we put it in task list. So in HTML, we have two parts. One is completed task list over here, and another is just the task list. Each have different CSS applied so that you can see the difference. Now, if I save this and I open my browser, you will see I get my task over here. This is the first task which comes from our constructor. So if we had multiple tasks, we could see multiple tasks over here. Now when I check it, nothing is happening because we haven't implemented the toggle functionality. So let's do it next.
Shubham, I think
yes,
we should once address Girish's error.
After pasting render task, it still shows loading. Not complete syntax. I'll give you the entire function. Just a second. Okay, so entire content. Okay, I can't paste the entire thing. I'll give you it. So this is the first half. Clone. Yeah, so it's in two parts. You copy paste run it. Once you tell, I'll proceed. Done. Did you all finish it? Can you see your first task? Where to paste this? You have a render function, right? I have given space for rendered tasks. So in render tasks, remove the render tasks and copy paste the entire thing which I've given. It's in 2 parts. I'm still getting loading. Okay, in that requirements.txt, I'm going to paste my entire app.js till the current progress. You can just copy paste that entire stuff.
Shivam, send the link again in the chat box.
Yeah. Just a second. Share. So replace entire app.js with this, with the contents of what I've sent. Tell me when you're done. Could you copy paste it? No, even if the constructor is there, just copy paste the entire doc file which I gave you. Remove entire app.js contents and put this.
Yeah, I put the same like, but still I'm getting loading. Actually, in the first place, when we were using that to-do list in development mode, the truffle thing, there also I didn't get the list of the to-do list mark. So I guess there might be problems somewhere in the code of
Wait. I'll give you entire to-do list function also. I'll paste it in requirements.
Okay.
Okay, so I've given you to-do list. Once you copy paste it over there, run truffle compile and truffle migrate reset.
Okay.
Okay, Jagannath, see the colored one in the docs which you see, copy paste the entire content in app.js, remove everything in app.js and just paste it. And the second part which I've sent, you can copy paste it in your to-do list.sol if you want, if it was not working for you before.
Like you want me to delete every code, right? In
Yeah,
the
in
code.js.
app.js, remove everything and replace it with what I sent.
Okay.
Are we ready to continue?
Where to paste the second code?
I don't think you need it. It was for to-do list.solve, but if I don't think you should paste it if it was already working. Girish.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Actually, the problem was the A was not copied, so it was just PP equal to.
Okay. Okay, so now it's working for everybody. You should be able to see your first task on the screen. First task. Jagannath, can you see it?
No, his truffle is in problem. He can't see it.
Okay, fine. So next, so we are done with render tasks. In render task, we are using toggle completed. So toggle completed is used to tell that you have updated your task. So let's implement that. Toggle completed. Toggle completed. So this is the code for toggle completed. Let me explain what it's doing. So first we are setting our application in the loading state by setting app.setLoading true. Then when you click on the checkbox, by default, it will pass a value. From that, you can access its properties. So you remember I told each task should be uniquely identified. So we are giving task ID to name property. So we can access that by using e.target.name, where e is the parameter, and that becomes a task ID. So now we have written a toggle completed function in our contract. So using app.todolist.toggle completed, we will call that function by passing the task ID. So in toggle completed, we are supposed to pass one parameter, which is the ID. So here, along with that, this is a requirement from MetaMask. You need to specify from which account you are making this request. So in app.account, we have our account address. So from app.account. And once that is done, to show the updated list, what we are doing, we are calling this JavaScript function window.location.reload to reload the entire web page. So if I save this, so I have my first task. If I click on this check, it's loading and it's been checked. We have written this in render tasks. So like if it's completed, then send it to completed task list, which has its own styling. So this was a toggle task to mark it updated. Now, how do we create a task? So one last function, that is create task, which is very similar to toggle task. All we need to do is, okay, let me paste it. Create task, again we set our app in the loading state. We get the content of new task.val. So new task, it is an input parameter. Its ID is new task. So by doing new task.val, we are getting the value currently entered in the input box. So new task.val, then again await app.todolist.create task, which is the function written in contract, which expects a content. So that is the content we are getting from this value. And from MetaMask, we need to specify from which account we are sending it. Again, once it's done, we are reloading the screen. So if I save this, and over here, let me type second task. Now we'll see I have 2 tasks. I can mark this completed, or I can uncheck it. So we have successfully created an entire to-do list using blockchain. Now Shrishti will tell us how to write tests to make sure what we are writing. We were actually supposed to do it in between, like we write one function, then we test it. But we thought it would be better if we keep it as a separate module. So now we'll write tests to check what we have written. Is it working? Is this what was the expected behavior of this? Over to you, Shrishti.
Okay guys, so this is the final step of the blockchain workshop. So we are basically going to test our smart contracts to make sure that the smart contract is deployed to a valid address, and also to ensure that what the functions are performing in a desired manner. Okay, so we're going to do that by adding dummy values, and then you're going to compare it and find out if the desired result is obtained. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I'll share my screen. So guys, go to the test folder that is present in the blockchain template, and then create a new file that's called to-do list.test.js. So how exactly are we going to conduct this? We are going to use 2 libraries that is known as Mocha and Chai for carrying out the tests here. Okay, so in this file, let's paste this code. I'll just send it, put in the chat box. Okay, so let me explain what it basically does. So in this first case, we're going to require your smart contract and then store it in a variable named to do this. Okay, so the basic word, and then you name it to do this, and then you are going to write a callback function to get conducted. Okay, so here in these accounts folder, expose all the Ganache accounts that are present. So all these Ganache accounts are exposed in this accounts parameter of the callback function. So before we actually start writing the test, so this is where your tests start. So before writing the test, we have to ensure that there's a deployed copy of the blockchain. So the first test that we are going to run is to ensure whether the contract has been deployed successfully. And how exactly are we going to do that? So first, we have to ensure that the address in the blockchain. So guys, just paste that code. Okay. So what this does is, so let's just go do a dry run of the create task function. So just ignore this one. So what basically happens in create task function is the task keeps incrementing itself, and that task count in turn becomes the ID of the new task that gets created. So you can see that the ID of the latest task that is created will be equal to the number of tasks that are present in the list. Okay, so if we equate both of them and we find an equality between them, so we can say that the tests have been we can say that the test is successful and the tasks have been created successfully. So how exactly are we going to do that? So we are going to start an nursing function, and then we are going to extract the task count. That is sorry. So at first we are going to extract the task count function and find the number of tasks that are present in the to-do list. Okay, and then we are going to find out the we are going to extract the task of we are going to extract the last task. So I'll just show you. So task is that mapping that we had created. So we created a mapping of tasks. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass in an ID and we're going to access the last task that is present. So once we access the last task, we are going to compare the ID of that task and the total number of tasks. So if these two are equal, it means that the list that new lists are being created successfully. So let's just run this test. So we'll build Truffle.
Shishti, you might want to save your contract first and then Truffle test it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think the mistake is here. Actually, two number is a function. It should have been, and you should have used a parenthesis here. So make that correction. Let me see if it's going to run now.
Just a second. Is my screen visible for you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's get started. So now, so what now? You learned how to make a to-do list with Ethereum, and this is not exactly like a perfect application of blockchain, but you did understand what and all the vital important things that goes into blockchain, such as smart contracts, and then how to connect it to Ucanash, or how to migrate your smart contracts to this. So you understood the vital components of a contract. Now what now? So you can enroll into courses such as Ethereum and Solidity, the complete developer's guide on Udemy, where you get to learn more about Ethereum, the advanced topics of Ethereum, and you can make robust blockchain applications with this. This course is, if you want to buy, you can buy it on Udemy, or you can go to torrent and download this course. It is very free. You can download it for free. Then this course is really good, guys. I think you should go ahead with this after this. Then you can also get into blockchain specialization course on Coursera by Bulls Academy in Coursera, where you can cover topics of various range of cryptographic technologies. Not only Ethereum, you'll get to know a lot about other coins like Doge coins and all, where you get to know a lot about cryptography. Okay, along with the cryptocurrencies. Next, after you get into courses such as, you can start making projects such as fake product identification app. I'll tell you a bit about this. This is the on to go app nowadays, because see, people, I'll give an example such as people are going to organic. Remember, people are like buying organic foods such as organic ice creams and all, or organic items. How do you test this as an organic? Because just the farmer says it's organic on its label, you can't believe directly it's organic, right? You know what are organic foods, right? They are built without pesticides and all. So you can use blockchain, which gives you transparency and trust. So you can use that to create this fake product identification app. And you can also use smart voter apps like voter, where you want to vote to people, where people cannot tamper with the votes. It is very super secure. Or you can go to digital asset marketplace. You can Google about NFTs and all. What are NFTs? You'll get to know a lot about NFTs. And this is a digital asset marketplace you can create in that. So there's a lot of other projects, etc. And these three are the main go-to apps of blockchain nowadays. You can also Google about these topics. I encourage you to Google about these topics. So you'll get to a lot more other insights of blockchain. For example, you can Google how does an NFT work. You know what is NFT? You'll get to know NFT. NFTs are the digital asset you make, and you can sell it online for certain cryptocurrencies or certain fiat currencies. You'll get to know a lot about NFT. Then you'll also get to know, someone in comment actually were talking about how to what is the why is cryptocurrencies regulations are so tight in India, because the world is run by fiat currencies. You should know understand how cryptocurrencies role is greater in this. So Google about role of cryptocurrency in the world of fiat currencies. Then you can also get started on trading cryptocurrencies. You remember, right? Nowadays, recently, like Elon Musk tweeted about Bitcoin and all. So how the Bitcoin value dropped for that, or how Bitcoin value growth for that. You can learn a lot about trading and cryptocurrencies, because trading is you give some value to crypto coins. Even the crypto coins as itself doesn't have a fiat value. So you can learn about that also. Google about this. I'll encourage you to see TEDx talks on cryptocurrencies and blockchain, because a lot simpler versions are explained there. Even a basic kid from high school can go and understand this. So I want you guys to go to YouTube and see TEDx talks on cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So thank you for everything. And this is our contact. If you guys want to ask any queries in not only regarding blockchain or anything, you can contact us. And I think the main important blockchain aspect you guys have understood. Yeah, this is our contact numbers. If you want to have any queries, you can. If you have any queries now, you can address now. And probably say
that truffle thing.
Okay, yeah, truffle thing. Yes, Jagannath. I think we can contact you with you afterwards. Just a second.
You have our phone numbers, right? So after this meet, you contact anyone.
After this meet, you contact us. We can help you with that.
Oh, okay, sure.
Any other queries? Any Q&A? If you have, this is kind of like a Q&A. Other than the errors, do you have any other queries regarding blockchain, cryptocurrency, or anything you want to know about, or bitcoins? Numbers again. Okay, you want to see the numbers. Just a second. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Okay guys, thank you. You have any other queries or excitement? If you want to share, you can share it right now. How did you feel about the workshop? I know it is kind of overwhelming for you guys, but overall, did you understand the concept of what is blockchain at least? A little bit, at least a little bit knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
But have to work on the language solidity. So
Yes. So technical part you can learn anytime. Okay, technical parts you can learn. So as in whole sense, at least did you get something from this workshop, such as what is blockchain and what are the fundamentals of blockchain, like smart contracts and all. I think if you understand that, you can increase on your technicality issues like day by day, every day, if you work on that. Ashigam, you want to add something?
No.
Shrishti?
No.
So that's it. If there's no other questions, I'll end the meet. Okay then. Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.
thank you. Bye.
Happy Republic.